Hey everyone, my name is Leigh. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching this video today. Now today is a very exciting video for me and something I've been planning to make for a very long time, which is a comprehensive review and look at all the different leak-proof underwear options at Knix. Now, if you have been on this channel before, you have definitely heard of Knix. I absolutely love them. I am currently working with them as an ambassador, but well before I ever had that kind of established relationship with them, I have been using their leak-proof underwear products for years. Now, when I first started purchasing leak-proof underwear from Knix many years ago, there were way fewer options than there are now. And I thought, what better way to help introduce people into the idea of leak-proof underwear than to show what all of the different options are, how much they hold, how long the gussets are, and really get a good look at what option might be best for you. Now, I will include literally all of the information I'm going to talk about today down in the description box in case you need to refer back to it later, in case you want to grab a screen grab of it and save it somewhere for when you're making purchases in the future. I will also include a discount code that can get you 10% off your purchase if you do choose to buy anything. Keep in mind, I do make a small commission off of this code, so definitely do not feel like you have to use it by any means, but if you do, thank you very much for the support. I really appreciate it. Now, we have a ton of information to get through today, so I'm just going to get right into it right away, starting with what is leak-proof underwear. Now, leak-proof underwear is a standard set of underwear that has a special gusset built into it, which is the part between your legs, that can absorb and hold liquid without it coming out, without it smelling. So think of how a pad absorbs liquid into the center and doesn't let it come back out. The exact same type of technology is used, with the exception that obviously a pair of leak-proof underwear is reusable, whereas like a traditional pad is not. Now, these sets of underwear can hold a wide array of different amounts of liquid, whether that be blood, pee, anything else that you can throw at it. And we are going to go over today very specifically which set of underwear can hold how much and which ones would be recommended for light days, medium days, heavy days, etc. And we'll also just look at the different styles of underwear so that you can see what they look like on a body and decide which style might be the nicest one for you. Now, overall, there are really two different types of leak-proof underwear at Knix. There is the regular or standard leak-proof, and there is super leak-proof. Now, the standard leak-proof underwear generally holds somewhere from like 1 to 3 teaspoons of liquid, where the super absorbency ones can hold from like 8 to 20 teaspoons. So obviously quite different, and you can already start to see which you might want to choose depending on how heavy your flow is. But within those two categories, there is also some crossover in styles in case there's a specific style that you really like and you want to wear the whole time. There are also a couple of styles that are unique to each one, and we'll look at those today. Now, just so you can get a good comparison of like what does 3 teaspoons really mean, on average, most women lose around 6 teaspoons of blood during the entirety of their period. Now, that's only an average number. So of course, there are some women who bleed much, much less than that. And there are some women who bleed significantly more than that. But there are products in this range that can work for literally everybody. Let's just get into it with our first pair of underwear. And I'm going to start from lightest to heaviest coverage. So feel free, I will include specific timestamps down in the description for the different types of underwear in case you need to skip ahead. But we're going to start off with the leak-proof thong option. So this is the Knix leak-proof thong. This is considered to be a light absorbency product. It holds 1 teaspoon of liquid and generally is recommended as either a backup product to something else. Say you're using a reusable pad from Knix, or you're using a regular pad, tampon, menstrual cup, anything like that. You could use this as a backup if you were nervous about leaks. You can also use this on your lighter days. I can tell you that I do not have the heaviest period in the world, and for me, I can actually get away with this on most days of my period. I wouldn't necessarily trust it overnight or for a very long period of time on my heaviest days, but for most days, this is absolutely enough coverage for me. This is just a standard thong. It fits super, super comfortably. As you can see, I got a size medium. I have medium in every pair of underwear. This is super stretchy, very, very comfortable. They sell these thongs in the essential underwear range as well, which is their non-leak proof range. And I have a couple of those also because it's just a great pair of underwear. Very stretchy, very comfortable. Wearing this does not feel like you are wearing a special period product. It feels like you are wearing a normal, very comfortable thong. And I know this is a question I get a lot when people ask me about Knix Leakproof Undies. Does it feel like you have like a big pad? Is the gusset huge? Does it feel diapery? I can tell you this does not, and most of them do not. There are a couple that have much, much longer gussets for like overnight wear, but obviously we will get to those. So next up, we have the high-rise thong. So this is still a traditional thong, but very, very high-rise at the front. Super, super comfortable. This has the exact same amount of absorbency as the regular thong, which makes a lot of sense because the gusset is still the same size. So this would also be great for light days, holds 1 teaspoon, and can definitely be used as backup, or if you have any amount of like small bladder leakage and you still like wearing a thong, these would be a great option for you. Next up, we have the Leakproof Cheeky style. Now, this style obviously is fairly low cut in the front. It's not as high cut on the legs as the thong style is, and it is very, very cheeky at the back, so minimal back coverage. Now, this style is considered to be a medium absorbency and can hold up to 3 teaspoons of blood, but there is also a super leak-proof option of these undies, which is actually what I'm wearing right now, is the super leak-proof version, and these can hold up to 8 teaspoons of liquid. So these look like a teeny tiny, pretty, like cute, flirty pair of undies, but these can replace more than a lot of pads and tampons can. So this is where I think a lot of people assume that period underwear is going to be big and bulky and not very cute. You can get any of these undies that I'm going to show you in so many colors, patterns, and a lot of them you can get lace options. So truly worth a try if you have been looking for a period product that works for you. I cannot recommend these enough. So these do have, since they're the super leak-proof option, a more extended gusset. So it does come up a little further in the front and the back than the thong style does, but it still feels like when you're wearing this, just a pair of undies. I cannot feel the gusset at all. It doesn't feel like I have any extra bulk of any kind. It's just a very cute, very comfy, stretchy pair of undies. So like I said, this is a great option if you want something that's like a little less coverage, very cute, and all of these undies are built to be seamless so that you don't get like big underwear lines under your stuff. All right, next up we have the Leakproof Bikini. You can see at the front it's a very similar coverage to the cheeky one, but the back has much, much more coverage. So this would be like your traditional bikini style underwear, and this version that I'm wearing right now is just the standard leak-proof. It can hold up to 3 teaspoons, and it also comes in a super leak-proof version which can hold up to 8 teaspoons of liquid. And you can see I am wearing these in a very cute little limited edition Betsy Johnson butterfly print, and all of these undies do come, like I said, in many cute prints and colors. So next up we have the Leakproof Boyshort underwear, and this is in a limited edition like rose pattern, which I have the matching bra with, and this bra is amazing too. Now these Boyshort underwear, very, very comfortable. They are a little bit more coverage in the front, which personally makes me feel a little more comfortable. I like things that come a little more high-rise. And then they have very, very full coverage in the back, and they come up like quite high at the back. These are great, very comfy. I wear these ones quite often when I'm on my period. So similar to the last two pairs, this standard option holds up to 3 teaspoons of liquid, and the super leak-proof option of these exact same undies holds up to 8 teaspoons. And one thing to keep in mind, the fit will be almost identical between the standard and the super leak proof. Really the only difference that you're going to notice is that the gusset on the standard version stops a little sooner. In the super leak proof option, it comes up slightly further in the front and the back. But as I've said, I don't personally notice it. Like, it doesn't feel different to me. It just feels like a comfy pair of underwear, but one that you know you can depend on, which is always good. Now we're starting to get into a couple more high-rise styles, so I'm just gonna take this sweater off just so that you can see kind of where it lands. So this is a pair of the leak-proof high-rise undies. As you can see, they come very, very high. These are super stretchy, extraordinarily comfortable. In terms of style, this is my favorite appearance-wise style, and I would say I reach for this, the thongs, and then another style that's coming up soon the most. Now this is also similar absorbency to the last two pairs. The standard, which is what I'm wearing right now, holds 3 teaspoons. The super absorbency holds up to 8 teaspoons and has the longer gusset. But I got this pair in full lace at the back. Very, very cute. I am truly floored that this is what we can wear on our periods now. I've kind of talked about this before on the channel, but having options like this that are cute and fun, and honestly, this makes me feel very sexy every time I'm wearing it, is amazing to me for a pair of period undies. Like, I can't imagine wearing a pad or a tampon or a diva cup and thinking like, wow, I look so cute, I feel so sexy. Whereas with these underwear, I find myself thinking it a lot. So definitely highly, highly recommend at least one pair of the Knixy lace if you don't already have them, just because they're so cute. And they come in a lot of the other styles too. Like, you can get them in the bikini styles, in a thong, if you want the cute lace, but maybe you don't love quite such a high rise. All right, next up we have the cotton super leak-proof boxers. So this is one of the first of a couple options that only come in a super leak-proof format. And I would say of all of the pairs that I've tried, these are the most different from like a standard pair of underwear. So let's talk about why. So first up, this pair of underwear can hold up to 10 teaspoons of blood, which, as you remember, we said 6 teaspoons is the approximate average. It holds almost double what a lot of women bleed for their whole period. So if you have a very heavy flow, this could be a really good option for you. This set also features an extra long gusset. So the gusset on these starts here and ends here. So it is extraordinarily long. If you are somebody that sleeps on your stomach and you usually have problems with bleeding over the front, I cannot recommend this pair enough. They are very comfy, they're very stretchy. The one thing I would caution, I would consider these to be when people say, does leak-proof underwear feel bulky? These do feel bulky to me. I personally only wear these either to bed on a heavy flow day, or if I'm just like sitting around the house that day with like a big t-shirt on over top, because these, if you wore these underneath pants, you would definitely feel like you have a little bit of extra fupa happening. And I do think it would be a little bit obvious or feel more uncomfortable that you're wearing a leak-proof product. And that's not to say that they're uncomfortable. They're definitely comfy. They feel like a big, thick pair of boxers. But wearing these, it's one of the only pairs where I can tell that I have like a gusset between my legs. And I think part of that is just because you can feel it both on your stomach and up your bum a little bit. And last up, we have the super leak-proof Dream shorts. Now these shorts do come in black, maroon, and then a couple of patterns. These are one of the stretchiest things I have ever put on my body. Super, super stretchy and comfortable. And these are meant to hold up to 12 teaspoons of blood. So literally double what most women bleed through the course of their period. Now, these shorts are the thing that I reach for overnights, pretty much for the entirety of my period, because they are literally so comfy. It doesn't really feel like you're wearing anything. And I personally have never once had any even nerves about leaking out of these. The gusset is quite long in these, but not anywhere near as long as the like super XL gusset in the cotton boxers. In this one, it starts a little higher than standard and comes about halfway up my bum. That for me is more than enough, and I often sleep on my back, so I do feel like things tend to go backwards. But I still have never had a leak in these. So now that we've seen what all of the individual pieces look like, I'm just gonna change back into my outfit and we will talk about a few little FAQ items about Leakproof Undies. So a couple of questions that I see fairly often about Leakproof Undies. One, how do I wash them? These undies are meant to be machine washed. Now, Knix recommends machine washing them on cold and usually a gentle cycle. So I usually throw them in with like a delicate load using cool water. Standard Leakproof undies are meant to have like a super quick dry gusset. So after you've washed them, you are supposed to take them out and just lay them flat to dry. I can tell you that mine have accidentally found their way into the dryer before, and they do still work fine afterwards, but I would always recommend obviously following the instructions to get the longest use out of your products. For the super leak-proof undies, because they're meant to like hold liquid and retain so much, they do recommend just tumble drying them on a low setting. So I usually just tumble dry them with my delicates. 2, how long do they last? Now, Knix recommends replacing a set of period undies every 2 years. I can tell you I have not done that. I have definitely accumulated more pairs over the years, so I use each pair less often, whereas before, when I literally only had like 3 or 4 pairs, I was like washing them through the week and having to wear them multiple times in the same like period cycle. I feel like they can last longer than that. Part of it will depend how you treat them. How much you bleed obviously can be a factor as well, but I do feel like these are an incredibly high quality product that will last you a very long time if you need them to. One other thing that I want to mention, these products are not only for periods. I know that I've referred to them a couple of times as like period underwear. They really are leak-proof underwear. What I mean by that, you can use these if you experience a little bit of bladder leakage or incontinence. These would be a very good option for you. I know a lot of women right after they have kids experience this, and maybe even for the rest of their life. Now you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be wearing big heavy pads all the time. You can literally just wear a cute, sexy, fun pair of undies and still be protected against those leaks. I'm going to mention this. I'm going to try not to get demonetized, and if you know me, please don't feel awkward. I also like to wear these after sexual activity. The absorbency, I feel like, is very helpful in that time. I'm gonna leave it there. I think you catch my drift. The last other question that I feel like I have been asked a couple of times, do you smell? Now, how I interpret that is when I used to use pads, like disposable plastic pads, I always felt like after a couple of hours, I could smell a weird smell. There's no other way to explain that. It just smelled like blood, like iron, like a little weird, a little funky. I hated it. I hated that smell. So I switched to tampons, even though obviously with tampons there is a risk of toxic shock syndrome, and that freaked me out. So for a while I tried using menstrual cups, but I still sometimes kind of felt like I could smell that smell, the blood smell. And I feel like I have a kind of sensitive nose, and probably nobody else could smell it, but it bothered me. I really didn't like it. With the period underwear, basically there are 3 different layers, and the blood or other liquids pass through a layer and get locked into the middle part. And the very top layer that is closest to your skin is meant to prevent odors from coming out in any way. I personally feel like I cannot smell anything. Even on days, and sorry if this is TMI, but kind of the point of the video, even on days when I feel like I have saturated the gusset, I still feel like I cannot smell anything, and I do not feel wet, which was one of my biggest things with pads in particular. I hated feeling wet. This does not feel like that. So this was a lot of information. I really hope that I covered everything about these undies that you could ever want to know. But if you do have literally any question, no matter how TMI you think it might be, no matter how embarrassing you think it might be, please feel free to ask it. You can either ask it if you're comfortable in the comments section and I will always answer you, or if you don't feel comfortable having it in kind of like a public space, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, and I will have my Instagram handle down in the description box, and I'm happy to answer literally any question that you have. I think the stigma around women's period products and around women's bodies in general needs to end. I'm over it. I hope that I will help you be over it too, and we can all just, you know, live and experience our bodies as we want to without having to feel any shame around it. Because half of the world bleeds every month, or has at some point in their life. It is not something we should be ashamed about. And like always, if there are men being weird, gross, creepy, anti-period, anti-leak-proof products, or shaming women in any way in the comments, I will block them. I'm not afraid of that. So definitely know that like this is a safe space, and I'm always here to help you with any questions that you have. And I especially want to push that message home if you are watching this and you are maybe younger. If you have questions about anything pertaining to periods and leak-proof products and your body and wondering like what you need to do, I am happy to help answer those questions. I know there are a lot of places in the world, and even some places pretty close to home, that don't like teaching women about their bodies, and I think it's shameful. Now, with all of that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoy this kind of content and deep dives into products, definitely be sure to hit the big red subscribe button found down below and the bell notification button. I do put out new videos every single week, quite often twice per week, and I'm always open to reviewing anything that you would like. So definitely, if there's something that you would love to see a review about or hear me talk about, put it down in the comments section or send it to me on Instagram, and I'm happy to look at it. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here with me today, and I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye!